Well, before we start a demonstration, let's just have a look at the two moulds that are in the one-day special. So it's the Regal Findings and the Elegant Borders. Now, the Regal Finding has 18 different elements in total. You've got some clocks, you've got some laurel wreaths, you have also got some butterflies, some bumblebees there, and a couple of crowns up the top. A really, really beautiful mould. The other one is the Elegant Borders. That contains 5 different borders. You've got roses, you've got like a floral intertwining border there, you've got a really beautiful decorative border there with sort of like a heart shape, and then you've got some what I consider to look like little chocolate chunks there, and then you've got like a cane there with sort of a floral twisting decoration around the edge. So 2 really fantastic, beautiful moulds. Now, all of the moulds from Prima are food grade silicone, so that's really good. So you don't just have to be using them for your crafting, you could be using them for your cake decorating as well. Now, what we always say, if you're going to be using them for cake decorating, then we do recommend you get a second set used exclusively for that. Right, so how do we use the mould? So if you've never ever used a mould before, it's really, really simple. All you need to do first is either dust out with some corn flour. This is corn flour here. So we're just going to go into the centre part here. Now, the thing I really, really love about the moulds from Prima is because they are brown, you can actually see where you've actually put the corn flour. Now, just tap out what you don't need. Okay, like so. Now, this is also available on the show, is the modelling material. Now, you're going to get 4 pots of these. So let's just take the lid off. And again, what I really love about these from Prima is that you're going to get 4 different pots, and each one has got the same amount in, the 100 grams. And it's really good because you can then keep your clay you're using actually in a sealed pot, so it's not going to go dry. This is air drying clay, so there is no need whatsoever to have a kiln of any sort. It is literally just air drying, so it's absolutely fantastic for that. So we're just going to push the clay in. Now, this is different from other air drying clay that I bought you before. It's actually, I find, a lot easier to use. It's more like a fondant, shall we say. Okay, so you just need to press the clay into all of the corners of your mould, like so. Okay, if there's any excess, then just take that off and just place that right in there. Now, because this is quite a large mould, this one, we're just going to use a rolling pin here. We're not actually going to roll it as such, we're just going to pull that along, and you'll see it's just taking off all the excess clay there. Again, just go around the edge. If you need to top up any, just pop some more in there, like so. Okay, and then when you're happy you've got all the mould, make sure you put the lid back on top of your little tub there. Okay, make sure that all the clay is off from the outside or the top of the wall there, so just make sure that's the case. Okay, just press down just to ensure you've got all of the impression there. Now, the best way to actually use these is to just simply flex like so, and you can see it's already coming off, but it's to actually place it side down, and then there we go, just take the mould actually off of the cast. So if I can just show that one there and just flip that one over, and you can see the stunning detail that you can actually get with these moulds. So that's one of the elements that we're going to be using on our very first demonstration. Okay, now when it's actually in this state here, you can actually cut it. Okay, so I just know I need to cut this one down a little bit, so let's just trim that one, so just there. And unlike other clays, you'll see it cuts really, really well. Okay, and let's just twist that round, and I need to cut it about there, just so it's going to fit on our first project that we're going to do. Right, so these parts here, you can mash those back up pop them back inside your pot. So what I recommend is you use a piece of kitchen cloth to actually place that on whilst it's drying. That's going to take about 24 hours to dry. The reason we put it onto a piece of kitchen cloth is that will actually take the moisture from the clay. Now what I would also recommend is that halfway through drying time you actually flip that over like so, just so it dries as flat as possible. So let's just pop that one to the side at the moment, and we're also going to make one of the bumblebees. Now I was saying earlier that we use corn flour. You can be using sort of like a sunflower oil, okay, or a little bit of white kitchen fat, and I'm just going to pop that into this mould. The reason being, I find that with the ones that have got a lot of fine detail, they just need a little bit more release that corn flour can't always do. Now, as you can see, I'm bending the mould right back, okay, which of course you can do. These are silicone, okay, and then just using a little bit of that clay once more. We're just going to pop that inside, and we're just going to be using a Dresden tool. You can be using a ball tool if you've got them. A Dresden tool is actually a cake decorating tool. So just pop that in to your mould there. Okay, just make sure you get it into all of the little bumblebee's legs there and its antennae. Okay, and again you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just making sure that the clay is just inside and not on the top. If it is, just tuck it back inside there. We just need a little bit more clay on the top bit of his antennae there. Okay, and just press that in. When you're happy, okay, you literally just flick that up, and you can see all of his little legs are coming out like so, and literally you can fold that mould in half, and then we're just going to just very gently ease that one out, and you can see there we go, all of the amazing detail. So again, let that one dry on a piece of kitchen cloth. So that's how you use your moulds in conjunction with your clay. Let's pop, like say, that back inside there, seal the container, and then we're going to be good to go for the first project.